Yo, 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 yo. What is good, everyone? Don Chaos here. Sorry, I'm a little late because I was doing some stuff right now, but we are still going live as planned. What is up to everyone in the chat? It's my day off, so why not go for a late night stream? So let's check out everyone in the chat. What's up, Nobody Man? What is up, Charles Reeves? What is up? What is up, Wicked Texan? So yeah, of course, today, for those that don't know, today marked the 25th anniversary and the 26th birthday of, that's right, the one and only, the almighty RiddleBox. So happy 26th birthday to the RiddleBox. We're probably going to have some guests on here to help review and talk about this monumental Juggalo classic, in my opinion. What can be said about this album that hasn't been said before? If you guys seen my ranking of the Joker cards, this is probably number one. And this album is very monumental, I know, for a lot of people. It was released 26 years ago to this day on Jive Records, which for those that don't know, Jive was like a very big label back in the day, like in the early 90s, late 80s. Jive was actually a legit hip-hop rap label. There was a lot of acts signed to Jive Music, like Das Effect and all that. So yeah, of course, for those that don't know, the theme of the RiddleBox, for those that are new, and the reason why I'm doing this, because I want to get back in the habit of doing reviews, whether it be anniversary reviews or reviews for when a new album comes out, because I know a lot of people miss when I would do reviews. But yeah, what was going on during this era? A lot. This is when ICP was starting to go a little bit national. They were starting to branch outside of Michigan with this album. One of the places they went to outside of Michigan was Texas, which this was around the era that one of my friends who was originally from Texas found out about him. He was about 6 or 7 out that time. So, this was like their first real big label that they got on. Again, Jive Records. It was around this time that their popularity was stretching beyond local boundaries, which was dope. Which I remember, if you guys look at like Hollow Wicked 2005, if you look up ICP Fox Detroit News from 95, they did an interview. And I remember them saying ICP is heading on a first nationwide tour later. And then they said if the Insane Clown Posse's popularity stretches beyond local boundaries, these two will be laughing all the way to the bank. And they did. Their popularity started reaching local beyond Michigan boundaries with this album. Some people say Malenko. That might be for a more brighter audience. But then for the few beyond Michigan, this is when a lot of people found out about him. So what's the theme of the RiddleBox? You guys should know. To point simple, you just turn the crank, and if it pops up good, you go to Shangri-La. Pops up bad, you go to hell. So basically, and all sums this up, RiddleBox represents the mysteries of life and where will you end up when it's your time to go. I love that theme. You know, I like all the themes and messages of the Joker cards, but for some reason, when people always ask me which one point blank speaks to me, I would always say RiddleBox, and RiddleBox is one of my top ICP albums. You know, this is really when they found their sound, you might say. You know, they always had that crazy, zany, clowny feel from Carnival of Carnage all the way up to this. But then this is like, came up with that sound, you know, more that people were familiar with. You know, a lot of people discovered ICP through Malenko. Well, I know a lot of juggalos who discovered ICP around the era this came out. So yeah, we are going to go into a little review, track by track, and then we will have some guests on the show, on the stream, for people who want to talk about the album. And this album is very important to me. I still love this album to this day. To this day, even 26 years later, I'm still turning the crank, you might say. So you have the intro, which is like dudes just chilling in the car. And what's cool about the intro is you guys can see, will hear what the dudes are listening to in the car, and you can hear the Southwest Strangler playing on their car radio. Of course, they get in a wreck. Dude wakes up in a dark place, not knowing where he's at. He's like, where the fuck am I? And they said, it's not where you're at, it's where you're going. And you won't know until you turn the crank. And I like how it's playing like that music that plays like in a Jack in the Box Ruth goes do 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 dun 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 do 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 do, and the dude's like, oh shit, and then it's got that jump scare. Supposedly this version, they say this riddle box, the whole concept of the riddle box on here is people going to hell. So it's very clear, you know. Then you go into the self-titled track, RiddleBox, which I will always say is one of my favorite intro self-titled tracks to a Joker's card, is the RiddleBox. Hey, I'm Violent J. Well, I'm here to kick your ass. We the wicked clown. We the wicked juggle those who live like hoes and chose the express route. I just love it. I love that shit. Love it. What is up? Yo, again, happy 26th birthday to the almighty RiddleBox. Then you go into the opening track, which is one of my favorite openings to an ICP album, and that is the track The Show Must Go On. You know, always a great track live, always good. That's usually like maybe the second song they usually open their sets with. Usually that's like the second song they open up with. So dope live. You know, a lot of the classic songs that ICP performs during their sets are pretty much tracks that are off this album. You know, Show Must Go On, very legendary. Very, very legendary track. If you don't like The Show Must Go On, I don't know what to tell you. This whole album is legendary. Yes, it is, Randy. It's what you would call a Juggalo classic. But I think I see a few people who might want to join in. Of course, we are live everywhere. We are live on my personal channel as well as Carnival Spirits. If you are watching exclusively on Carnival Spirits, super chats are welcome. So let me send the link to some people. All right. The links are sent to some people. So, show must go on. Just pretty much welcoming you to the show. That's one of those songs, you know, that if ICP were to make like a playlist dedicated to the whole dark carnival mythology and all that, this is one of those songs that you can add to that playlist. Show must go on. Just always get so live to that song. Always love that song live. You know, then we got the classic song, How Some Other People Found Out About ICP on a National Level, was the Chicken Hut and Slaughterhouse remix. Another classic ICP song. It's one of those songs, you know, that ICP performs during their set. You know, a lot of people will say it's not an ICP set without chicken hunting. And I can totally agree. I mean, there are some people who say they would, if they didn't perform chicken hunt, they wouldn't care. And I'm one of those people that are like, no, my opinion, it's not an ICP set without chicken hunt. And what is that song basically about? It's pretty self-explanatory. Chicken hunt. Killing racist ass bigots. And I always love when they're playing that song live, they'll like have dummies that are dressed like a redneck or something, and then they throw it in the crowd, and then the crowd like tears it to shreds and beats it up. Always awesome. Always awesome. Classic ICP song. Always also a classic song live. Like I said, a lot of the songs that ICP always adds to their set is always off this Joker's card, because that they know that this Joker's card is just so popular and well received and still loved by many, me included, being an old schooler. Then you got Toy Box, another such a dope song. I'm not gonna lie, this album I can listen to from beginning to end. I still can. And am I the only one that, yes, this album came out around the Halloween Samhain season, but am I the only one who gets vibes that this whole album has very Halloween type vibes? And isn't that crazy convenient how this album came out around Halloween and Samhain? And yet a lot of these tracks are very Halloweeny type feel songs. I mean, if you were gonna pick albums to play at a Halloween party, and I used to do that a lot back in the days, this is one of the albums I would bring to when I'd be having Halloween parties or going to Halloween parties or just kicking it with my peeps on Halloween. This is one of the albums we would just bump on Halloween. Like, this album gets me in the spirit of Halloween / Samhain. It just really does. You know, it's like every one of these tracks could have been so perfect to be in a horror movie soundtrack. Which one of the tracks on here was put on a horror movie as part of the soundtrack? Aw, shit, y'all. We have our first guest of the night. What is up?
Yo, what's happening, buddy?
What's up? Sean Beard, everyone.
Damn straight. Thanks for having me on, man.
Oh, yeah. I was supposed to be on earlier, and then I had to push it to a little bit later because I had to book a trip for something really quick. So that's why I pushed it back a little later.
That's all good, man. I'll probably only be able to come on for about 10 minutes anyways, but let's talk about the RiddleBox a bit, you know?
Hell yeah. Pretty much the floor's pretty much yours right now.
Shit, man. Well, I was introduced through RiddleBox. Let's see, what fucking year would that have been? 97. I remember a dude on the bus, older kid or whatever, showing me. It wasn't chicken hunting, man. No, dude, it was fucking. Let's see. No, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going through my brain right now. Showed me one song, but let me borrow the CD. And then I remember listening to Three Ring over and over again, like that day in the fucking cafeteria, you know. And I'm really fucking young in this story, so I'm like 10 or whatever. And then I don't know, it's just a perfect album. I think it still kind of defines what we all love about them. I think it's the album that really paints the image that they are rapping clowns the hardest through the tone of the music, the beats, all that stuff, and the imagery, and I don't know, it's just kind of flawless through and through. It's my favorite sex song that they've ever done.
Just Mike B. Clark's
something,
and just Mikey Clark's production on here. Whew.
It's just ridiculous, you know, all the sounds, which I know I didn't know this till recently. I think through one of their shows they did, but like Toy Box is all Pee-wee's Playhouse samples. And once you know that, it's like obvious. But did you think about that over the years? Because I never did.
I never did until they mentioned it. I'm like, wait a minute. I used to watch Pee-wee's Playhouse again, and I watched the clips. I'm like, holy shit, they're right.
It's so obvious, but it's just Toy Box especially kind of sums up like the whole Carnival feel. Like, and it's all those wacky sound effects and whatnot. And like Jay really paints us like a mental image story on that album. I think RiddleBox sets the bar for the formula of what makes a perfect ICP album: the flow, the intro. You know, you kind of have your serious tone songs come in, then you have your fucking hilarious ones and whatnot. There's always a sex song about 75% way through, or whatever, you know, 3/4 through. That's a little some. And then it kind of ends on almost like a sentimental note and a party note. And really, the RiddleBox has the most probably transparent message of any of the Joker's cards. I think that's the album for me as a kid that made me realize the whole like kind of Dante's Inferno kind of thing they were going for and whatnot, you know. And I don't know. I think RiddleBox will always kind of define ICP long after everything is said and done, personally. I know for most people that's Malenko. That kind of makes sense because that's when it kind of blew up and everyone back then was passing around that CD. And don't get me wrong, when I got a hold of Malenko next, you know, flip my fucking wig because I never heard anything maybe that heavy as far as music went, you know. But as far as like a perfect rap album, fucking RiddleBox, man, fucking perfect.
And I was saying earlier, this whole album gives like Halloween vibes. Like when you have a Halloween party, you play this track at a Halloween party.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And it kind of set that because I don't think I have to question it. There's no like necrophilia type songs on Ringmaster or anything before. So I think RiddleBox was the first one, which is always funny when I explain to people like the whole thing with ICP and like what it means to get into it too hard, like all of us, you know, juggalos do and stuff. The one thing you could never justify is like, yeah, what about those songs where they have sex with dead people? It's like, it's like, oh, that's just the horror novelty, I suppose. But RiddleBox is kind of the first one that sets a tone with that. And RiddleBox is kind of the first one to set all the reoccurring themes that happen a lot in all the albums throughout that you kind of come to expect and want and love and whatnot.
I agree.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh,
But yeah, I
man.
just love how this whole album has like Halloween vibes. You can play this whole album at a Halloween party.
Yeah, it really does. Lots of like just, you know what? And I think a lot of that is, especially like Cemetery Girl and shit, a lot of the sound effects in the background are literally just like, remember the old like Halloween sounds on tape type sounds, like wolves and all that shit. And it's kind of classic, man. You're right. But it makes me picture almost like a vintage Halloween in a sense, honestly. There's something just kind of like cartoony spooky about it and shit, you know? And it is. It's just fucking RiddleBox, man. I mean, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it is their best. I will stand by that. It is the most ICP album that was ever released.
Yeah, and a lot of people will say this is the album like where they really like crafted and like found their sound, basically.
They did. Yeah, absolutely. The whole formula, I mean, it's all kind of, every time they like hit it for us, it kind of goes back to them resembling RiddleBox, you know? It's like, they're doing that shit again. And don't get me wrong, I like every album right up till now. Like, of course, I love the old stuff the most because it's a nostalgic bias. But yeah, I don't expect them or really even want them to ever top RiddleBox. That's just defining ICP for me, man.
Well, they've even said in interviews that they don't want to make their albums sound exactly like their last album. And I think this is the Joker's.
No, why would they?
The message,
No,
like the message that they're giving out, like in this Joker's card, is like so clear. It makes you wonder, how could people miss that? It's very simple. The RiddleBox represents the mysteries of life, and where are you going to end up when it's your time to go?
yeah, I will say I was in the category of people where when the message of the Wraith was dropped, I was not shocked. And that to everyone who really was, I was just kind of like, well, it seems so obvious. But I hate to cut it so short, and I appreciate you fucking having me on, but I do have to bounce, unfortunately, buddy. But much love to you.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining.
Hell yeah.
And that was Sean Beard, everyone. Make sure you guys check him out on all social media. Follow him on Instagram, Beavis and Butthead Collector on Instagram. If you haven't, go ahead and follow him on Instagram. Tell him Don Chaos sent you. So yeah, I guess we will get into the next tracks. Again, Toy Box. Very dope song, you know. A lot of us can relate to that song. Like, if a lot of us were growing up, can probably very relate to that song. I was like 6. I used to get dissed by the chicks. I love that shit. And I like how, you know, this whole album I realized could have been something played in a movie. This could have been like the soundtrack to a movie, you know, those old cheesy 90s Halloween horror movies, you know. This could have been into that, which one of the tracks, again, was featured on a horror movie, along with a lot of other horror hip-hop, and we will get to that track. But you guys probably know which track I'm talking about. But the way I see it, this album, because, you know, Prince did a whole album dedicated to the Tim Burton Batman movie. So if Prince could have did a whole album soundtrack to the 1989 Batman movie. Who's to say this ICP Joker's Card album couldn't have been the soundtrack for like a horror movie that came out in the 90s? Who's to say it couldn't? What if? You never know. Some people probably would have called that a sellout move, but yeah, I've always loved every Joker's Card. You know, the message of this album should have been very clear. And like I said, they did really blow up nationally with Malenko, but it was with RiddleBox that they were slowly starting to get international attention. Now, when Malenko hit, it went everywhere, but slowly, it was during this era that they were deciding to do little ventures and see if their popularity could reach beyond Michigan. And it did. What's up, B-Clown? Good to see you in here, my dude. So yeah, let's go into the next track, Cemetery Girl. Very, very dope track. Who doesn't love that track? Again, who doesn't love all the tracks on here? Again, I still love this album to this day. This is still one of my top ICP albums. Now, if you guys haven't, I did a ranking of the Joker cards. And this, I believed, was number one. Now, if anyone wants to know what my top Joker cards are, it's Fearless Fred Fury, the Wraith Shangri-La, Jekyll Brothers, Great Malenko is number 2. Wait, no, Great Malenko is number 3, Jekyll Brothers is number 2, and number 1 is RiddleBox. I might do another video eventually ranking the Joker cards again. I know I have plans to do a ranking the second deck once Yum Yum comes out. Again, this is to help me get back in the habit of doing reviews, because I do want to get back in the habit of doing music reviews, because I know a lot of people missed my reviews. So when I do reviews, y'all, I will do regular reviews where it's just a straight video. And then I will do anniversary reviews. And then my anniversary reviews will be like live streams. So just so you guys know. So yeah, Cemetery Girl. Song about necrophilia. Tonight, tonight, we gather the dead. Tonight, off with your head. Yeah, it does have those like Halloween CDs that you would play at Halloween parties, or sound effects that you would play in a haunted house back in the early 90s. Yeah, Cemetery Girl. Some people say that was ICP's first attempt at a love song, but a very twisted love song. And I think a lot of rappers that have done crazy, fucked up rap songs, like twisted, messed up versions of a love song, I think a lot of them got inspired by ICP's Cemetery Girl. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. But yeah, another song that they do live a lot. Like I said, a lot of the songs they incorporate in their set list are off this album because they know this album is very well received. And I believe this album gave them gold status. I know Malenko and Jekyll Brothers went platinum, and this album gave them gold status, which is dope. Then you go into the track 3 Rings, 3 ring a ding a ding ding. People love to point and stare. 3 ring a ding a ding ding. It's the same as everywhere. Hell yeah. You can just still tell how young Jay and Shaggy were in this era. And I like during this era they had like short dreadlocks. Jay was starting to grow out his dreadlocks. Shaggy had his short dreadlocks. I just love this whole era and stuff, like a lot of the out pictures that came out during this era. I believe it was when they said during RiddleBox that that was the first time they were really to get an actual like office, like besides Alex's mom's basement. I think this was the era, the first time they said that this when they were able to get their first of the actual different buildings that would be the headquarters of Psychopathic Records. I mean, we obviously know the original headquarters of Psychopathic Records was Alex's mom's basement. Then we go into Headless Boogie, another one of those songs that I pretty much said is a very Halloween-y type get live dance song, Headless Boogie. It was the first time ICP came up with like what was their version of dance. Like, you notice ICP's always made those dance type songs and groups always made those dance type songs. Well, ICP came up with a dance move called the Headless Boogie. Lean to the left and slide. You could say it was maybe ICP's version of Thriller. Never know. The song does give very Halloween vibes again. Like I said, Headless Boogie, you can play it at a Halloween party. Or if you just make a random Halloween music playlist, Headless Boogie is one of those ones that always gets people going at the parties, especially around Samhain and Halloween. It would always get people going at parties and get-togethers I would go to. Then we go into the track Joker's Wild. And another good thing about this album, it's always been like that, but this album has very great, crazy imagery in your head. Like, you can see some of the stuff that is happening on this album. We all know Jay's a great storyteller, but his visuals on this album, whoo, holy shit, crazy. Shaggy is also known for having his dope verses on here that a lot of people love. Joker's Wild is the concept of a game show that's in hell. Just love that concept. And I like how they took out of their time to incorporate on the Joker's Wild. They incorporated the like little commercials. Like, they created their own Fago commercial, which, every time when people think of Fago now, you guys know in the crowd, you guys are going to say it in the chat. That part of the song inspired everyone to be going, Fago, send your mama straight up to the stove. Tell that bitch to bring home a Fago. But yeah, I love the Joker's Wild. That song, I think, could have been a very dope music video. Again, Chicken Hunting was like one of their first videos. There was the original Chicken Hunt, but that wasn't the official video. Their first official video was the Chicken Hunt Slaughterhouse mix. And a lot of people found that out through MTV back in the day. And that would like play on MTV like late at night. Yeah, Joker's Wild. A lot of these whole tracks could have been music videos. And that's one thing I wish, that a lot of these tracks on here could have been music videos. You know, Three Rings could have been a video. Headless Boogie would have been a dope video. Joker's Wild. And then we go into the infamous Dead Body Man. Who doesn't love that track? Who doesn't love Dead Body Man? Especially the beginning intro. It's funny. And that's one thing. The skits on here are always funny. You have a collect call from Fookoof. Please answer the following questions. Yes or no? And the skit that goes into Cemetery Girl. Hilarious. But yes, Dead Body Man. Another very dope track that ICP incorporates into their live show. Call me the Dead Body Man. Call me the Dead Body Man. And when a lot of these tracks, when ICP always performs all these songs live, I'm always singing every one of these songs off this album word for word. This is one of those songs that I like sing word for word. Hello? Is this thing on? Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dead Body Man. No, said I was born of an alien race, born with a hatchet and a juggalo face. But I'm not a mosh and you wouldn't understand. I'm just a dead body man. A lot of these tracks on this album are very juggalo anthems, you might say. Then you go into the track A Little Something. Crazy song. Knows how the beat's all like soft on Little Something that goes. No, who doesn't? Again, this whole album, from beginning to end, not one skippable track on this Joker's card. Then you got one of my absolute favorite ICP songs, which a lot of my favorite ICP songs are off this Joker's card. But you got some. Oh no, we're on Old Evil Eye. You got Old Evil Eye, which is the inspiration for that song, is by one of my favorite writers, horror writers and poets, Edgar Allan Poe. It's based off of Edgar Allan Poe. And if you guys in the chat know, let everyone know. What is the track that the story of Edgar Allan Poe, that Old Evil Eye, gains inspiration from? If you hear that song, the whole song is basically like a modern tale of Edgar Allan Poe's story. What's Old Evil Eye based off of, y'all? Which story by Edgar Allan Poe is it based off of? You guys should know. If anyone's fans of Edgar Allan Poe, I know what it is, but I'm waiting to see if you guys know. But yeah, Old Evil Eye. ICP's twist version of a story by Edgar Allan Poe. One of my favorite Edgar Allan Poe stories. Who doesn't love Edgar Allan Poe? You don't love Edgar Allan Poe, there is something wrong with you. Or his work, any of his work. There's something wrong with y'all if you don't like any of his work. Yeah, Old Evil Eye has a very Halloween feel to it. It has an old horror movie vibes to it. Especially where it goes da na 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 na. No, it's not the Raven. It's definitely not the Raven. Anyone know the Edgar Allan Poe story that's based off of? Yeah, Old Evil Eye. It does. It also, besides the track being inspired and basically Edgar Allan Poe's story, it has that old gothic horror vibe to it, like vibe. In the chorus where it goes da na 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 na. Another thing that made this album and Joker's card so good is every album flowed very well into the next. Every album, every track just flows really well, especially when you get close to like the final tracks. Each of the tracks off of here flow so well into each other. So well into each other. Old Evil Eye flows very well into the track 12. Now, people wonder, what's the song 12 really about? Now, that song is about a dude who was wrongly accused from 12 jury members. He was an innocent man and he was put to death. So he has come back to life to murder the 12 jury members who sentenced him to death. And I just love Jay's verses on this track and the way he makes his voice all evil and sinister. You know, now I've fucking been reborn, though I have just until dawn. That just whole opening verse from Jay, when he's like, now I fucking been reborn. Oh, yeah. No, he didn't kill 12 innocent people. He actually explains in the song, you have to like listen to the verses again. It's a guy who comes back to life to kill the 12 jury who sentenced him to death. And he was an innocent man that was put to death. So he's coming back for revenge to kill the 12 jury members who sentenced him to death. What's up, Shayna? Yeah, 12 has those good vibes of being like a horror movie, basically. Yeah, so pretty much that. So yeah, 12 really good. And then I like how, then again, these last few tracks, these three tracks, you know, Old Evil Eye transitions so well into 12, and then 12 transitions so well into the next track, Killing Fields. Especially 12 and Killing Fields transition so well into each other. It's like the dude wasn't able to kill all 12 people in the song, or he does. And even though he got revenge for killing those 12 jury that sentenced him to death. He ends up in the killing fields, which is hell. And this is that song where they play famous clips from that preacher who used to preach on Sundays or late night. I do not know the preacher. I don't know if that preacher in the song is an actual clip or that preacher doing the voice is Legs Diamond, because, you know, it was around this time during RiddleBox when they started really fucking with Legs Diamond, you know. He did a lot of voices off of here. Legs Diamond did a lot of the voices. So I believe the guy who does the preacher on there was either a clip that they got from late night TV, or from what I can fathom, I believe the guy doing the preacher's voice in the killing fields is Legs Diamond. But yeah, this whole album defines ICP's message of the Dark Carnival very well. No, it's one of those messages of of all the Joker cards that I think a lot of people find where the message is clear. But then again, from what I've always fathomed, because, you know, I've been listening to ICP since I was about 7, 8, or 9. I'm 31 years old now. The messages that they were always trying to give out have always been in their music. So when people don't gather what they're trying to portray or put in their music, I tell you, just gotta dig deep down the rabbit hole. Yes, Legs Diamond was critical to early ICP. They would always say Legs Diamond was like one of the unofficial members of ICP. I remember a seminar they did a few years ago when they had Mikey Clark and Legs Diamond on the stage with them. They said that Mikey Clark and Legs Diamond were like the 2 unofficial members of ICP. You know, Legs Diamond also did play a lot of guitar on ICP albums because Legs Diamond does know how to play guitar. So I believe he played guitar on a lot of tracks, especially on here. It was cool when I went to the American Psycho Tour when they did Chicken Huntin'. They had a live version of Chicken Huntin' with live guitars. So during the American Psycho Tour, Legs Diamond and Mikey Clark would come on stage and they would play the live guitars from Chicken Huntin' live. It was so dope. It was so dope. What's up, Andrew? But yeah, Killing Fields. It's a song. The Killing Fields. It's literally a song about hell. The Killing Fields. Again, the whole moral of this album is it flows so well together. Then you go into the ending track, which became a staple, where they say ICP would always like end an album on a chill song, a very personal song. This song is both. It's a little personal, laid back and chill, entertaining, and it gets the people going. And this last track plays like with literally where albums felt like they were movies. The song I'm Coming Home sounds like an end credits song, like a song that plays during the end credits of a movie, or a song that starts playing when the final shot of a movie is filmed as it's getting ready to roll into the credits. Like, just picture, y'all. You can hear the beginning of I'm Coming Home starting to play towards the end of the movie, and as it's getting ready to show the final shot and little part of the movie before it goes to the credits, the beginning I'm Coming Home starts to play, and then when the screen goes black in the movie, the rest of the song I'm Coming Home plays as like the song you hear in the credits of a movie. Okay, I forgot to mention this, but Dead Body Man was featured on a horror movie soundtrack. It was a very cheap horror movie back in the day. You know, not a lot of people really liked that movie, but a lot of people really loved the soundtrack of the movie. And Dead Body Man was featured on the Fear soundtrack, which also had tracks from Gravediggers, Flatline is on there. The main song from the movie, Fear, had the song from Isham the Unholy on there. So when people say they can talk about like good movie soundtracks, that even if the movie wasn't good, the soundtrack was good, check out the Fear soundtrack. It has tracks from ICP on there, which is Dead Body Man. It's got the song Morty's Theme by Isham on there. It's got a track from Gravediggers on there. Tracks from Flatliners. Yeah, just picture it. I'm Coming Home is like something that would play right as the credits are getting ready to roll in a movie. Because, you know, some movies will like get ready to like show that final shot and scene in the movie, and then there's this end song that starts to play right before the credits go, and when the credits go, the song continues to play. I'm Coming Home is just one of those dope songs. You know, they're paying tribute to Detroit in that song. They're like talk about their version of how they see Detroit in that song. You know, you look up tracks that about Detroit, it's crazy that I'm Coming Home shows up as the list of songs that are like about Detroit. It's crazy. I don't know where I found it, but if you look up like list by ICP, will show up on that list, as well as like many other ICP songs, because you know ICP's from Detroit. Gotta pay tribute to your hometown and city. I'm trying to think. I don't think I saw that movie. I don't think I did. Yeah. That was the review 26 years later of the RiddleBox. I know, y'all, I was doing it a little late. I had to book some stuff for a trip that I'm going on at the end of the month. And where am I going at the end of the month? You guys will just have to wait and see. Because I will possibly be doing footage, maybe even live streams of the trip that I'm going on. I can't really say, but this trip's going to be dope. I'm leaving the 28th, I believe. I'm leaving the 28th, the 29th. I'll be back the 2nd of November. And yeah, I'm going on a trip. Where I'm going, you guys will just have to wait and see. It's going to be dope, though. Where I'm going, you guys will just have to wait and see. But I just booked flights to this, where I'm going for a trip of where I'm going to be spending Halloween this year. And you guys will see. And where I'm going, I'm just going to hang out, go to some shows. Can't really say anything because I'm not obligated to say it. And yeah, it's going to be great. Going to shows. Where I'm going, where I'm going to be spending Halloween. I've never been to this city. I've only been at the airport in this city on layaway for an hour. And why not spend Halloween there. With everything that's going to be going on up there. Yeah, up there. You guys will know. You guys will know. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know by now where I'm going. And if all of you guys are there, I will definitely see you guys there. And if you guys do see me there, come say what up to your boy. So yeah. Thank you to Sean Beard for joining. If anyone else wants to come on here and say their piece, y'all are more than welcome to. Headless Boogie is a dope song. Like I said, this whole album gives Halloween vibes. You can play this whole album at a Halloween party. This whole album could have been the soundtrack to a movie. I can see it. But yeah. You guys already know who I am. Happy 26th anniversary, 26th birthday to the RiddleBox. I think we know someone who might want to join y'all. Hold on. Let me send the link because it wouldn't be the anniversary of this album without this person. So let me send. Well, this whole album, in my opinion, has very Halloween mode to it. You know, Headless Boogie is basically full-on Halloween mode when you look at it. Yeah. We're just going to chop it up. You know, I guess we could show the artwork for this. Let's go ahead and show the artwork. It's not much to the artwork. It's that. Explaining the story of the RiddleBox on the inside. Love that image. One of my favorite pictures of Jay and Shaggy. Like I say, I just love a lot of the pictures that they did for this era. You know, I like how their voices sounded on this album. Yeah. Love this album, you know. Happy 26th birthday to the RiddleBox. RiddleBox has always been my favorite card design and cover. How about you? I mean, I love every Joker's card design and cover, but I would have to agree that this design is just so dope. It's just, I love Shaggy's dope artwork, y'all. His dope artwork. You know, that very clowny image. You know, even this image, they say, defines ICP. An evil clown. But yeah, I have plans to go back and come back and do reviews. I have plans to review new albums that are out, so you guys can prepare for me to go back into reviewing albums when they're brand new. You can expect me when I do the anniversary of an album. You can expect me to do a live stream talking about it. And yeah, I can bump RiddleBox from beginning to end. The message that ICP was trying to put in their music was very clear in this album. Oh, Charles Reeves found it out. Thank you, Charles Reeves. Yeah, this whole album. Oh, yeah. I bought this when it was still Hatchet Gear, I believe. It was either when it was still Hatchet Gear or when it was first psychopathicmerch.com. One of the two. I just know I bought it for myself for Christmas one year. It's cool. There's like a picture of me and Roxy, and Ouija Mac is like in the middle of us, and me and Roxy just so happen to both be wearing our RiddleBox jerseys during that ICP show. So we were saying we turned Ouija Mac into like a RiddleBox sandwich. I could pull up the picture. Let me find it. Let's see, is it on here? Let me find it. There it is. There's this picture of me and Roxy RiddleBox when we were kicking it with Ouija during one of the ICP Halloween tours that they did a few years ago. And here's a picture of me and Roxy and Ouija Mac in the middle. Ouija Mac being a RiddleBox sandwich. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pictures. Yeah. Love that picture. So yeah, trying to see if someone really wants to join. I would hope they would want to, because this 26th anniversary would not be the same without this person. So let's see. See what he said. Get him to get on here again. I know. I can't believe it's been 26 years neither. 26 years later, and we're all still turning the crank. You know, it's crazy knowing that I'm even older than the RiddleBox. That's insane, y'all. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off for the night. But you guys already know who I am. I am Mr. D to the O to the N to the C to the H to the A to the O to the S. Your friendly neighborhood JGGALO, the Karma Millionaire. If you don't know, now you know. And if you still don't know, chat, let them know. I will see you guys tomorrow for a live hangout tomorrow. I know normally I do just hangouts on Sundays, but it was the 26th anniversary of the RiddleBox. So how could I not do this when the RiddleBox is now 26 years old, y'all? Happy 26th anniversary to the almighty RiddleBox. If you guys just happen to be new to this channel, like, subscribe, thumbs up this video stream, this /stream, thumbs down it if you feel like it. Also, if you've been watching exclusively on CarnivalSpirits whenever I do go live, and if it's on CarnivalSpirits as well, if you're watching exclusively on CarnivalSpirits, super chats are welcome. You don't have to send super chats if you're watching exclusively on CarnivalSpirits, but they're there. Hell yeah. I will see you guys tomorrow for a little hangout stream. And yeah, you guys know who I am. If you don't know, chat, let them know. I will see you guys tomorrow. So yes, turn the crank. And just always also remember, we are all the pages. And ICP for life. I know it's backwards from your guys' end, but from my end, I'm seeing it that way. So yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, I know it's backwards on my end because of how the camera's in reverse, but you ever want to know how to do ICP in sign language? ICP. Wrap. All right, y'all. That's a wrap. I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys are awesome. Dom Chaos, the Karma Millionaire, signing out. And for those who are making the trip up to that city on Halloween, I will see you guys there. For those who know what I'm talking about, I will see you guys there. Peace, y'all.